With last night's border crossing numbers, you've broken another record, hitting well over 5 million illegal border crossings under your watch. And the American people believe that this administration still has no plan to address the issue. The safety and security of families is the #1 concern I hear from my parents, from my family, from people up here in the Senate. You've made every community a border community. And the increase in fentanyl deaths and skyrocketing crime proves that. 300 people dying every day in America from fentanyl poisoning, a plane crashing every night. I'm concerned that we have no idea who's coming into our country. Since the beginning of the fiscal year 23, Border Patrol has encountered 70 illegal aliens who are listed in the terrorist screening database. In fiscal year 22, 98 illegal aliens on the terrorist watch list were encountered at the southern border. Do you know how many terrorists, including this database, have crossed our southern border and are currently residing in our country?
Senator, let me assure you that the safety and security of the American people is the highest priority of the Department of Homeland Security and my highest.
And there's a big difference between priority and accomplishments and doing what you're supposed to do. So can you answer my questions about the terrorists that have crossed the southern border that are still in this country?
Let me assure you, Senator, first of all, we work tirelessly.
I understand that. You are going to answer the question? I work tirelessly, you work tirelessly, Americans work tirelessly, but our country is under attack and we're not safe. Do you have any idea how many terrorists have crossed the southern border that are still in our country? I assume that you don't. Let's go to the next question. Under your leadership, this administration deported fewer illegal aliens than any other in modern American history. However, your budget reveals there are over 5 million aliens on the non-detained docket for deportation. 5 million. Of those 5 million, there are 400,000 convicted criminal aliens residing in this country. Let me say that number again, 400,000 convicted criminal aliens residing in this country. Your budget requests only enough money to remove 7% of those people. How do you justify allowing nearly 500,000 convicted criminal aliens to remain in this country, in our American communities? And how does that keep American citizens safe to permit known criminals to remain in the country?
Senator, a number of things, if I may.
I'd rather have the short answer on this question.
I'm going to give you
lock in on this question if you can, please.
I'm going to give you a short answer, and it has multiple parts because there are multiple responses. Number one, you are not accounting for the $4.7 billion contingency fund that we propose for fiscal year 2024. Number two, this administration has removed more aggravated felons per month than the prior administration. Number three, when you cite the removal numbers, you're excluding the fact that we are obligated to enforce Title 42 of the United States Code, the Public Health Authority.
Of those 400,000 convicted criminal aliens, how many do you plan on removing?
We are going to focus our efforts on the safety and security of the people and remove any individual that presents a public safety threat to the fullest extent that our resources permit.
Do you feel like leaving any of those 400,000 terrorists inside our country makes us more safe or less safe?
Senator, I'm not, first of all, you have a inaccurate factual premise to your question.
You're saying there's not 400,000 convicted criminal aliens remaining in the United States?
We are focused on enforcing the law in the service of the American people. We will
then do your job. Listen, my next question. According to documents released under the Freedom of Information Act, you have used your private email for official business. How often do you use private email for official business, and how are you following the DHS policy on the use of non-DHS email accounts for official business?
Mr. Secretary, I think there's some hearing issues. If you could speak a little bit more into the microphone, it would be helpful to our folks here.
Is that helpful? Your assertion is false, Senator.
Okay.
And let me share something with you, because you mentioned something about your parents, and I'm gonna have a point of personal privilege.
Then I'll want my time back. If we're getting a lecture from the Secretary, then I want you to answer my questions, not give me lectures. So you're not using your personal email for official business? You deny that?
Senator, if somebody errantly sends me an email on my personal email that should have been sent to my work email, I forward it to my work email. That's what I do. I fulfill my responsibilities scrupulously, and I have 100% confidence in the integrity of my actions.
I appreciate the answer. Thank you. I appreciate your answer. I want one more point I'd like to make here. The Secure Fence Act mandated that the Secretary of DHS, that would be you, achieve operational control of our borders. Mr. Secretary, our borders are not under control. Mr. Secretary, you are derelict in your duties. I would be derelict to not do something about this. And that's why I have a draft resolution here that I intend to introduce in the coming days that would require the Senate to take a vote of no confidence on Secretary Mayorkas. As I've stated on the record before, I stand at the ready to receive articles of impeachment from the House and conduct an impeachment trial in this body. But in the meantime, I think the Senate must show our colleagues in the House that we've had enough of the failures from the Department of Homeland Security and believe that the Secretary is not fit to faithfully carry out the duties of his office. I would like to insert this into the record. Mr. Chairman. Thank you, and I yield back.